different than the previous scenarios. We will have ISF, we will have non-Hamas police force in place, and most importantly, the regional countries and the countries who have put their signature and peace declaration in Sharm el-Sheikh, Turkey, Qatar, Egypt, and the other countries, members of Arab League and Organization of Islamic Countries, they are going to be enforcing one way or another if Israel is following the agreement till the letter. You know, Hamas and any other Palestinian faction can deviate itself from the implementation of the peace plan as long as all the parties are observing it. They shouldn't be, because we would be the first party who would be coming against this.
Just can I ask you about this issue of momentum? The Norwegian Prime Minister was here earlier and he said that unless there is announcements about the Board of Peace, about the technocratic body, maybe about the ISF as well, before Christmas, there is going to be a real sense of loss of momentum and that the violence inside Gaza could become worse. Can you give any kind of reassurance that there are announcements imminent? I saw you did an interview maybe 2-3 weeks ago in which you said the technocratic body is ready, all the names are out there in terms of it's been agreed. Why not start showing there is some momentum? We don't even know who is going to be, whether Tony Blair is going to be on the Board of Peace or who's going to be on the Board of Peace.
Well, I think one of the practical problems about this subject is, as everybody knows, that the people on the US side who are in charge of mediation of Gaza file, they are also in charge of mediating between Ukraine and Russia.
You mean they've got other things on their plate, other things on their mind?
No, this
Would it not be better to have a larger State Department?
This is up to them. But right now, you know, I've been, you know, communicating and discussing with Steve Witkoff and other friends and Marco Rubio. They are very, very aware of the gravity of the problem at the moment, because if they don't intervene timely, there is a risk of what you are saying, actually. They also understand this risk. So they know that they need to intervene timely to make sure that we can go into second phase. Otherwise, we can lose momentum, because Hamas has almost delivered what they've been asked, you know, in terms of releasing the hostages and the bodies.
There is one dead hostage.
Yeah, they are still looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are cast in the role of guarantor of this peace, and yet there have been 360 Palestinians killed since the ceasefire. There is not enough aid going in, or not at the right amounts or into the right places. Do you not worry that at some point you end up cast in the role of guarantor of a continuing lower grade genocide, but it's still a genocide?
Well, first of all, let me make a technical correction. In none of the papers we've been described or appointed as the guarantors. You know, we are the signatories to the statement, together with other 3 countries, US, us, Qatar, and Egypt. Having said that, we don't mind being a guarantor. We don't mind shouldering the responsibilities of the guarantor country. So you're right in pointing out that the daily violation is giving the image that the peace process, the ceasefire, can stop anytime because nobody seems to be stopping Israel. Well, this is exactly the problem that we've been having right from the beginning of the war. You know, in the absence of any credible power in the field or any other mechanism or structure, nobody has used power leverage against Israel at the moment. Only United States were able to stop Israel, and only a certain amount of countries coming together to convince the American administrations. This is a chain reaction here. We talk to Americans, Americans talk to Israelis, because they understand the gravity of the problem. Because if you leave things Israeli and Netanyahu alone, they have only one thing in their mind: to get Gaza free of all the Palestinian people. They have two methodologies. Either they will turn entire Gaza into an unlivable place, so they can ship off the rest of the Palestinian people elsewhere, so they can dislocate all of them, or just as they were doing, they will continue to kill the entire Palestinian population.
Sure. There is a revived campaign to secure the release of Marwan Barghouti, and many people say that if he was released, it would be quite transformatory for Palestinian politics. His son tweeted yesterday, I think yesterday morning, that he'd been told by a released prisoner that his father had been physically crushed. They broke his teeth and his ribs, cut off part of his ear, and broke his fingers in stages for amusement. And he then said, "What do I do? Where do we turn? Lord, have mercy." Are you worried that there could be what's been described as a Navalny solution to Marwan Barghouti, that he would be killed in jail? And what are we to do about this?
Well, unfortunately, not only him, but also countless of thousands of Palestinian prisoners, male and female, they've been subject to torture of Israel, unfortunately, for the last couple of years. And this has been a systematic one. Well, as international community, we need to do something about this too. Not only we have to work to save the people in Gaza, but also we have to address this very problem that you are describing. This is a humanitarian tragedy. Unfortunately, nobody is paying much attention that needed. We have to do everything in our power, because the torture has become systemic. Because for Israelis, this is an act of revenge, torturing the Palestinian prisoners in prison. Some decent Israeli people, they are disclosing all these things. Their conscience is not okay with what's going on. So only this way we know that this is taking place in a very systematic way.
You don't really have any practical solution to this, though. I mean, because it is Barghouti, if he is killed, it would be, I think, very devastating to Palestinian politics, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. But as I said, this is the way that Israelis are doing killing business and torturing business, and they know that the international community is helpless in stopping them using force. But there are other things that international community can do easily, and that's what we've been trying to do for the last 2 years. In all the capitals, when you see the people, the youth, everybody is protesting against the Israeli genocide. And the countries, their numbers are increasing in recognition of the Palestinian statehood.
Yes.
And we see that the Palestinian cause is gaining ground, but at the same time, the degree of brutality is also increasing. So I think Mr. Netanyahu is really harming in a very bad way the future of Israel and Israeli state. So
okay,
it should stop.
The clock is being very brutal to me, and I just wanted to ask you two last things. One was about Ukraine. You said you were I think your words were scary, what was been happening in terms of attacks on shipping close to Turkey, and that you were going to have conversations with the Ukrainians about this. They've denied responsibility for some of these attacks. Are you satisfied now that the Ukrainians are not going to be attacking shipping close to Turkey, and that